This letter alone, I sent out and got 17 items deleted off a client's report on the first time I mailed it out. So do not take this lightly, and know there's not a secret letter formula, but for some reason this letter paid off. And I'm giving it to you right here for tuning in. So make sure you like if you have not already, and subscribe if you have not already, because I got more in store that can benefit you, people that you work with, or someone else that you just know who needs what we have. What up? You got Mr. Smith, 0.5 of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and in this brief video, I want to talk to you about a letter that I use that helped me get 17 items deleted off of a client's report, and how you can use it the same way, and just kind of give you a rundown of how letters operate, you know, so you can customize your own if you feel the need to do so, if you just want access to some education that can help you along your credit restoration journey. Of course, I have some links below that you can utilize in order to benefit yourself from a free angle, or if you want to invest in yourself, or if you want to take it to the whole nother level and help others. Depending on what you want to do, it'll be something down there for you. But let's talk about it. You see, as it relates to restoring your credit, I always like to reiterate, just so people can understand that it's a combination of things that go into fixing the score. A lot of times people just search for the letters. A lot of people just want certain things deleted. And that's one way, but it's not always about deletions. So I feel like I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't elaborate on what things go into restoring your credit and how letters play a part, of the role that letters tend to play. Hydration real quick. Now, the 5 factors, I'll run through them real quick because I do it time and time again. If you listen to me enough, you'll memorize these, and now you'll be on a whole other level in terms of bettering your credit. And if somebody's restoring your credit, if they haven't given you some of the things that I'm about to share you from a 5-factor standpoint, inquire, ask, so you can get a better understanding when they're restoring your credit, if you hire someone else to do it, or even if you're just trying to do it yourself. All right, the 5 factors of credit. Number 1, payment history. Payment history is basically how well you pay your bills on time, over time, and hopefully you're doing that all the time, because that is 35% of your score. If you miss a payment and the creditor decides to report that you had a late payment, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, it can and will drop your score pretty drastically, because it seems like they're starting to crack down on late payments as a whole. So make sure you're paying those things on time, and that's all up to you. Nothing a credit repair company can do to make you pay your bills on time. Now, we can help clean up some of your old late payments by doing certain things and sending off certain letters and things that we've shared here before, but it's up to you to make payments on time. That's number 1. Number 2 is credit utilization. That's 30% of your score. 30% of your score is contingent upon credit utilization. Credit utilization is directly associated with your credit cards. Without credit cards at this present time, you cannot have credit utilization. So basically, credit utilization is calculated by how much of your credit limit have you utilized. So if you have a $1,000 credit limit and you have $900 of it spent, that's 90% utilization. If you have a $1,000 credit limit, but you have $90 spent, then that's 9% utilization. We recommend staying under 10% utilization. Other people say different things. Some people say divide by 3, stay under 30. We personally recommend stay under 10% utilization just based on our experiences. That's it. So that's number 2. Number 3 is credit history. How old is your credit? What's the age of your credit? What's the earliest you started using your credit? Whatever that is, you want to make sure you hold on to your oldest account, because it makes you more seasoned in terms of credit. Sometimes people get things deleted, like some things on their report that they don't like, not knowing that it's attached to their credit history, because it's the oldest, or amongst the oldest things that are affecting all 3 bureaus and as it relates to their credit report. So understand credit age, because that's a percentage of your score as well. So we got 35%, 30%. That is 15% of your credit score. I have to do my math in my head so I can make sure I was leading you the right way. That's 15%, just your credit age alone. So understand the importance of that. And then the last 2 is credit mix and new credit. So credit mix is just basically making sure you have a combination of things that are bettering your credit. Basically, payment history, credit cards, loans, personal loans, auto loans. If you got a combination of things, it helps let people know, or let creditors know, that you know how to borrow money and pay it back. So that's mixture. New credit is what have you done recently that can empower or strengthen your credit? What have you done mainly in the last 2 years that can help strengthen and empower your credit? So by understanding that, you are now positioning yourself to benefit from the recent credit history that goes into factoring in your credit. So that's that, because I know you probably came here for the video, but I want to at least give you that rundown to let you know how letters line up in that area. Letters can be sent out to help remove certain things that might be affecting your payment history, that might be affecting your credit history, that might be position, mainly those two things, because credit utilization is totally up to you. And then new credit is more so up to you in conjunction with how well you're using that credit from a payment on time standpoint. But letters help in those two areas to help clean it up and get just some old things like charge-offs, collections, things of that nature off of your report. So it helps in those areas, which is why I want to give you as much value as I can in terms of letters going forward and give you access to multiple letters. But this letter, like I stated, it was one that we were able to get like 17 things deleted off of a client's credit report on one swing. Now, I think you should be able to see my screen. Let me see. So let me see, boom. All right, yep. All right, so let me pull it up because I have it over here. Booyah, there we go. Now, this is a basic letter in terms of disputing things on your credit report. And I really want you to understand this. If you're sending off a letter, it doesn't have to be so uppity and have all of these rules and regulations and laws. Don't get me wrong, that can work, because the lingo lets them know that they have somebody who at least know what's going on. But it has worked if a person didn't include this lingo as well, because they have rules to uphold. Otherwise, they are in violation as it relates to the credit bureaus as well as the creditors. So if you don't have these, then still make it work. There are some people who said they've gotten results off of handwritten letters, not even typed up. So just understand that. And I'm giving you this in the form that you can type it up yourself. So make sure you're pausing it where you need to, screenshots where you need to, and understand the areas that are in brackets are areas that you will replace with your information. The reason why they're in brackets on my end is because my system allows me to basically input information in a certain area, and it's coded to make sure it drops in the right information in the right spaces. But just so you can have an understanding of what goes where, I'll briefly go over it, then elaborate on how this letter can be beneficial and how to incorporate the things you're disputing in the body of the letter. That said, let's go. So this will be your first and last name. Of course, you're your own client if you're fixing your own credit, but this will be your first and last name here. This will be your primary address. And make sure, and I don't want to forget to say this, so I'm going to say this now, make sure when you're sending these letters off, you include proof of your identity. Basically, a clear copy of your ID, driver's license, passport, something that proves the face of how you look, something that has an image of you. Then another thing that has worked is just a proof of utility. Basically, a utility bill, proof of address, something that says you live where you say you live. You put those two things together, in many cases, it can help you tremendously by proving who you are and where you live. Even if the ID doesn't show the same address that's on the utility bill, it can still work because that would just be an old address, and, they now know that you reside at whatever location you say you reside at based on your current proof of address in the form of a clear picture of a utility bill. The utility bill doesn't have to have how much money you owe and all of that. In fact, I would recommend that you crop that part out. You take the picture, crop it, and mainly you want to see the creditor, it might have some type of letterhead or whatever, or their logo or something. You want to see the creditor and your name listed as the address there. So I recommend that instead of including all of these different, the extra numbers, the number of your account number, how much you owe. That's just my personal recommendation based on my experience for different reasons. Then your birthday. So this could be your date of birth, just basically proving that you're this person who's born on this day. Social security number. You can literally just have your last four of your social, because that'll be enough for them to connect the information to you. Some people recommend sending copies of your social security card, and that definitely can work as well. So if that's something you want to do, you want to send a copy of your social security card that has all of that stuff on there to validate even further that that's you, by all means, you can. Then the bureau address, because when you're disputing something, it's based on you pulling your report. So this letter doesn't happen until you've seen what was on your report, because you need to know what bureau has what information. And all bureaus don't hold on to all information because of just how it operates. You know, some creditors don't report to all three bureaus. And sometimes you can get something deleted off one bureau, but it stays on the other two. So make sure you're lining up the bureau that you're disputing with the item that you're disputing it with, so that way you don't get it confused. So this will be the bureau address. It will be TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. That will go there. Then you will put the current date, what date it is that you're sending out this letter. Now, right here in this letter, I go directly into saying, recently, I looked at a copy of my credit report and noticed several inaccurate or incorrect accounts. I feel that these accounts are adversely affecting my credit report and costing me thousands of dollars in interest every year. Here are the items I have, and I want verified as accurate. You let them know, look, I took a look at my report. I see these things. They're hindering me from being great. They are not letting me be great in terms of my credit, you know, just to kind of have some humor. In other words, that's what you notice. You notice that these things are hurting your score. So if they're hurting your score, they're allowing or disallowing you from being great from a credit standpoint. So we got to get you great. We need your credit to be royalty credit, as I like to call it. Now, it says, here are the items I have, and I want verified. It's accurate. So on this is where you will put the accounts that you want verified as accurate. If it's something that looks inaccurate, something that doesn't look right, something that you see, okay, they got my name spelled wrong, I don't recognize this account, or, you know, I don't recognize this collection agency, whatever it is, you want to put that account there, put the account number just as they have it shows. So it might say 4568 *******. You want to put it in there just like that. Now, basically, you want to let them know two things. What did you realize is inaccurate? So it might be inaccurate last activity date. It might say, please verify. This is the area that I recommend, because this is what I did that got a certain amount of items deleted off of a client's report 17. Basically, I say verify account, because I just need you to verify. I'm not saying it's not mine. I just want you to verify that this is my account. So I put verify account, then I put the account. So I have the title of the account, the credit name, you know, the number with the asterisk on there. Then what do I want them to do? So on my verified account, you can do one of two things. Underneath it, you can say, please remove this from my credit report. In the example that I spoke of where 17 items were deleted, I literally said, please supply the information that you use to verify this account. Please supply the information that you use to verify this account. So now I gave them what I wanted them to do, verify account, and the action I want them to take. Provide the information that you use to verify this account. So now I need you to perform something for me to prove that this is my account. Just by me saying that, without even telling them to delete it, just by me saying that, items got deleted that wasn't supposed to be on there. Now, I'll read into it a little further just so you can see, and then we'll wrap it up. Also, the only name, address, social security number, and date of birth that should be reported on my credit profile are the ones listed below and in the documents attached to this letter. That's a key line, because sometimes people dispute certain things and they say, oh, this is not me, this is not my address. But your driver's license say an address that is attached to a certain debt that you are disputing. You know, so you got to be mindful of that. So make sure you include, look, other than the one listed and the ones that are attached in the documents with this letter, any and all others are inaccurate and or outdated and must be, you can update that, must be deleted immediately from my report. My rights under the provision, and this is where you get into like the lingo. If you put that, great. If you don't, it's no big deal, because they know that you're just a regular individual. In fact, I will argue and say that them knowing that this is a more realistic individual might be of your benefit. I personally had this listed in the letter that worked for me, so definitely you can feel free to use it, because it got results. I'll just say that. But if you don't want to, for whatever reason, then you'll still be good. So don't beat yourself up too bad. Don't overthink this. I'm just giving you some dialogue to go along with these letters and allow you to have some clear-cut screenshot opportunities so you can use this letter to your benefit. Additionally, please send me the contact information of any individuals and or organizations you contacted so I can follow up with them on my own. Powerful line right there. I believe 30 days gives you a reasonable time for you guys to investigate these items. I believe they're under the section, more lingo, and basically at the end you'll just conclude with your name, your address, date of birth, and the last four of your social. Real simple, straight to the point, one page, and you can do a certain more than one item on this. Some people say don't do any more than 5. Some people say don't do any more than 15, and I understand why. So if in this particular example, I had quite a few because 17 things got deleted, but what you got to understand is that 17 across 3 bureaus. So 3 may have come from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, deleting all 3. So in my example, I might have stayed under 10, but if you take 10 and multiply it by 3, if all things were on all 3 bureaus, there would have been 30 items. So it may have been about 7, 8, 9. I don't recall right off the bat. But put under 10 on here just so you can see how it works, and then you can follow up with some other ones depending on how many you have on your credit report. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you have questions. Let me know if you got any specific letters you would like me to go over, because I have a ton that I don't mind sharing. That way you can utilize, pick my brain and use what we use to help clients get results. So say, hey, can you do one showing a letter for this? Do one showing a letter for that? Share this with somebody you feel may benefit. And you definitely want to like and subscribe to the channel due to the fact that it's going to be a lot of free knowledge and nuggets, things that you can apply today, and let me know what your results are like. So send this letter. I challenge you. Take this letter, run with it, send it, and see what happens. And if you get some results from it, comment below, let me know, and then share this video. That's all I got for this short video. Hopefully you got value. Until we speak or meet again, Mr. Smith signing out.